Hi everyone, I'm Babette and together with my colleague Felix, I welcome you on this webinar in name of the Charter team. The European Road Safety Charter, led by the European Commission, is the largest civil society platform on road safety. One of the activities of the Charter team is to share knowledge and build capacity. The subject of this fifth Charter webinar is road safety and vulnerable road users. We have invited two different speakers with specific expertise in the field of road safety. First, we have Angelika Biró with her two-wheeler school project about road safety education for 13 to 16-year-old students. After Angelika, we have Bill Carmichael with My Child Pedestrian Road Safety Resource Roadmate. For a smooth organization of the webinar, if you have any questions or remarks during the different presentations, use the question field or the chat room. After each presentation, we foresee some time for answers and participation before we move to the next speaker and presentation. After the webinar, all presentations, contact information, and the recorded webinar itself will be available on the Charter's website. So first we have Angelika. Angelika Biró is the head of Road Safety Education Department in the Road Safety Research Center of KTI Institute for Transport Science. She works on the field of road safety since 2012. Her focus is mainly on the vulnerable road users, children and elderly people. She presents the last year award-winning program of KTI Institute for Transport Science, the two-wheeler school and life on the road program, which is a complex framework for road safety education based on lifelong learning conception. First, we have a poll for you to answer about vulnerable road users. Normally, you will see now one of them, and you can all answer. So most of you are responding that you would sometimes that your child sometimes go with a bicycle to school. Thank you for answering this one. I have another one before we start with Angelika's presentation. A bit disappointing. Most of you are saying that there is not a good road safety class at school. So now we will let the experts speak, and I'll give the screen to Angelika.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm trying to share my screen now. And can I ask someone to type in whether my screen is visible okay or not?
Yes, your screen is visible, Angelika. Thank you.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Angelika Biró, as Babette has already said. And I'm talking now from Hungary, from KTI Institute for Transport Sciences. And I'm going to introduce you the two-wheeler school program that has been awarded last year by the European Road Safety Charter's Excellence in Road Safety Award. But before I give you a detailed info about this program, let me introduce you to the Life on the Road program, which is an umbrella program for all kinds of road safety programs in our Center for Road Safety. So, first of all, it was founded in 2011, on 12th of April, by 4 very important organizations. One of them is Ministry of National Development, the National Transport Authority, the National Committee for Accident Prevention, and KTI, Institute for Transport Sciences. How did we come to this conclusion that we have to call this program to life? We had a focus group research where we have visited 42 towns, and we had multi-stakeholder attendance in these focus groups. And the result of it has been that it is strongly recommended to start the education as soon as possible. We mean the road safety education, of course. Because those who have been involved in road safety education before find it easier to pass their driving test and possibly are having a bit better transportation culture. The aim of this focus group research has been the renewal of the road safety education system, and the result has been that Life on the Road program has been established. The principles are that the road users with the lifelong learning and collective awareness raising program become well-trained players of the traffic system. And with a common or unified coordination, the previous acts toward the road safety become more effective. We say this because, as I have said, Life on the Road program is an umbrella organization for many professional partners that do work together towards the road safety. The objectives of the program, I will mostly speak about children right now, because School on Two Wheels program is targeting children aged between 13 and 18. So Life on the Road program is a complex program which is aiming all age groups with special objectives. For example, preschool children, they need to be introduced to the pedestrian transportation, and always have to be on the road with their partner, with their parents. Grade basic school children aged between 6 and 10, they have to learn they need to learn the independent pedestrian transportation. And there is a very important age group in Hungary, that's age in Hungary, that's the 12th year, because from that age children can independently ride a bike on a road, which can be very dangerous. So we really have to train them a lot before there's 12th age. And when we speak about high school children aged between 14 and 18, they have to be introduced to the safe transportation by moped and by car as well, because at the age of 8 they can have their driving license and drive on their own. So this is very important. What is our vision? Our vision is, when we talk about Life on the Road program, is that there will be no fatalities, no children will die on the roads after 2030. What we say is that today's students are the teachers of the future. So we think that setting up a basis of a safe and conscious transportation behavior and attitude has to be started in childhood. And as we have said, a well-established training in childhood may have a great result in the adulthood. And also we think that a pre-focused teaching is absolutely essential if we want our children to have a cultured and safe transportation behavior. You may see on the screen the direct target groups of the program. I will not repeat them. I would like just to emphasize some of the indirect target group of the program, which is teachers, NGOs, driver training professionals, researchers, transport experts. And I must say that many of these are members of the Life on the Road program, which means that we have yearly meetings, and they can always ask for the results of our programs, and we do help their road safety programs as much as we can. On the next slide, you may see that the factors affecting the transportations have been set up for all age groups. I'm really sorry, this is a Hungarian slide. I could not translate it in English, but you may see some red lights in the middle, which is the target group of the two-wheeler schools program. I'm only showing this slide to show how complex this Life on the Road program is, and to show that really this school on two wheels program is absolutely not a program on its own, but it's really included in a big system. And some other important aspects of the Life on the Road program, that we have methodological training aids for teachers developed by all age groups, which means that we give to the teachers even PowerPoint presentations, lesson plans, videos, everything available for them if they wish. So also we have e-learning curriculum developed by all age groups, which is available, of course, online for the children. And we have some animation films also made under this Life on the Road program. And I must say that this is very popular, and it goes in the TV on Saturday mornings for children. What are our future plans? Increase the safety of children, educate well the children to be cultured and safe road users. We would need to achieve that the parents should take care of their children's road safety education, so that they would become responsible road users. We need to raise awareness of the need of security, raise the rule following discipline of passengers, and grow the transport rule knowledge as well. And we would love to achieve that every child would be traveling in child safety seat. Also, our aim is to increase the number of children involved in road safety education. We would like to introduce the pedestrian license or pedestrian certification, such as like a driving license, but for pedestrians. We would like to make it for 10 years old children. We would like to introduce the bike license for 12-year-old riders. As I have mentioned, they can ride a bike on their own on the main roads. And one of our other aim is to introduce road safety or transport safety module for the driver trainings in Hungary. We think it's essential to strengthen the responsibility of the parents when we talk about road safety. As I have said, we wish that all parents would use the child safety devices, and whenever they travel, they should all wear a seatbelt just to be good role models for the children. So this has been just a brief introduction of the Life on the Road program, and now I would like to carry on talking about the two-wheeler school program that has been, as I mentioned, awarded. What were the reasons for this training? As I have said, that there is a clear link between education and driving training, and those who have been trained in the preschool education for road safety, they can much easier learn to drive, and it is important that they become independent drivers by the age of 12. The proper preparation is essential for their safe transportation. When we have established this program, we have been really taking into account many aspects that affect the 13 to 18 years old student. they are able to drive a moped from the age of 14. They can have a driving license from the age of 18. And this is a very rebellion period whenever they are really trying out new behavioral patterns, new dressings. They're reviewing all the values that they have got from their parents, all the rules that they have learned throughout their childhood. They analyze all their relationship. They're searching for exemplars, people whom they could follow, and it's a very important period for defining themselves. What our conclusion has been that the teenagers, they're trying out everything, and they can be receptive for road safety if we could put the right thinking into their age group, into their norm way of thinking. So we really have to reach out very, very close to them. Not really in panel way, but really in a practical way. We have to choose the right communication channels, and it would be very important to find icons or idols that they could follow. We have some messages that as you have seen that matrix that I have shown you before. At this age group, the message or the way that we want to reach out to them is they should get a driving license for safer traffic, and if the safe traffic is important for an idol, then such as like a young star, they should follow his or her example, as safe traffic is not embarrassing. And for the teachers, we would like to empower them or help them to involve the students in as much traffic competition as possible, to motivate the children to know more about traffic, to know more about safe traffic. And we wish that the teachers would be rather their partner, not only a teacher, but a partner who leads them towards this way. We have defined all the knowledge group that we think is important for this age group. So whenever this School on Two Wheels program is being held, these are the knowledge groups that are mentioned. There should be a short description of accident statistics just to show them how important this subject is, to show how many people have been killed on the roads in traffic accidents. There are always cycling rules that are being introduced to them. There are information on obtaining a license, for example, the moped categories, or category B, which is a simple driving license for cars. Also, we speak about visibility at night, visibility whenever in bad weather, in foggy weather. We talk about perception of distance and speed of approaching vehicles. We show them videos consulting about, but we do consult with teachers previously showing any videos, because there might be some students that have some have had some problems before in their families. If there has somebody involved in road safety accident, then maybe showing a shocking video or a video where an accident is presented might be very difficult for them. So we do consult always about these questions with the teachers. Previous also we ask the students themselves whenever we arrive to the school. To follow the groups of knowledge for this age group is one of them is the distraction, whatever could distract them whenever they are traveling. We always speak about wearing a hoodie and earphones earplugs in their ears, and using the mobile phone or other devices while they are walking. That can be very dangerous. We speak about the compulsory equipment on the vehicles. In Hungary, it's stated in the traffic rules whatever a bicycle has to contain to be able to go out to the roads. We do speak about the priority rules in the traffic and the more important traffic signs that they have to know before they go out to the roads with their bicycles. We do speak about vehicle management, how to avoid an emergency, reflexes, how they can avoid any unexpected situations, and about technical equipment that they should have while they are riding their bikes or mopeds. We speak about the blind spots that you may see on the screens as well, how they have to take care the most of themselves. We speak about the behavior with alcohol-influenced drivers, what they should do, how they should try to handle the situations. Also, we speak about about avoiding driving under the influence of alcohol. We speak about the rules of passenger transportation on moped and bike, and the mainstream conduct responsible traffic following the rules. What are the methods and the tools of the program? What I haven't mentioned before is that this program is working in the schools. Normally it takes 2 lessons in the school, twice 45 minutes whenever we can be with the students. And the whole program or the whole lesson starts with an attitude testing, or before the lessons we always have attitude testing where we can see what are the attitudes of the children, but also we make tests after the training to measure how effective this program has been. We work with professional, experienced instructors that you may see on the screen, a picture of one of the programs that we have held. The training is quite interactive, although in the beginning it has like a couple of minutes of panel discussion, but throughout the training there are always equipment that are being handed to the students that they could see, they could touch, they could check how it could help their transportation when they ride a bike or a moped. As I have said, we held the training by groups. We have presentations, videos, and as I have said, the presenting demonstration tools. And it's working in an interactive way. The tools are handed over to the students, and we have short educational films. Whatever the children like the most is the riding trainer, and in the riding trainer they can experience everyday traffic situations, how they could handle them. I have been speaking about the tools that are being used on the training. You may see them on the screen. They are prepared helmets. You may see some protective dressing for riding a moped. These are always being given to the children. They can held it. They can see how it's being constructed, how it can help them. There are some damaged helmets as well, and it is really effective to show the children how it could help them to save their lives. Also, you may see some gloves that have been damaged in an accident. You may see shoes that they should wear if they're riding a moped to save their body more. And you may see some visibility lines on the clothing. This is also a very important subject of this training. Yes, and the main attraction of the program is the riding trainer. You may see on the screen on the left there is a girl with her back to us. That's the riding trainer you may see there. It is actually a simulator, and in the help of this riding trainer, they can experience traffic situations that can be dangerous to them as bike riders or moped users. With the help of this riding trainer, they can learn how to avoid some dangerous situation. Their task whenever they use this simulator is to avoid and prevent these situations. This could be, for example, when somebody is not giving away, or if there is an obstacle on the road, or someone is suddenly stepping out into our way, they all have to avoid accidents and try to save the situation. After going through the track, they get a concrete evaluation. The software can give them an evaluation about how they did, and it also helps to improve their safety on the road. They can learn what they have to be more careful about. In some places, wherever there is a chance, if we get enough time off the school, or and if there is space, we also bring bicycles to the schools, and we help them how to handle the bicycle, what they have to learn about. There are specific tasks that they have to make with the bicycle according to the safer bike riding. Normally, every student can drive 3 to 5 rounds on the riding trainer, and our aim is an effective practice as much as possible. It is very important that the situations that they experience on this riding trainer can be dangerous, but this situation is very safe when they can experience. So this is a very important aspect. What are our experiences? As I have said, we always make measurements before the training and after the training. And you may see that the yellow part of the graph shows the number of correct answers of the students before the training, and the green is the number of correct answers after the training. It is clearly shown that the traffic knowledge is improved after the training. This is shown here by the experiences of the training in 2018. But I need to say that, as I said, this training is the 6th year in 2019, and in every year we do experience the same, that the training has a positive impact on students' average level of traffic knowledge. And to sum up my presentation is that the objective of two-wheeler school program is to reach as many students as possible in the age of 13 to 16 with the road safety training program, and of course to increase their safety conscious behavior. Also, as I have just said, that in 2019 is the year of the realization of the program, and throughout these 6 years we have reached over 30,000 students in total, which is very good, I think. And we wish to monitor the road safety knowledge of the participant students. And also we monitor the knowledge of students that have not participated in these programs. And yes, the program has been awarded by the jury of the European Road Safety Charter for the excellence of road safety. So we are very happy about that, and we do hope that this program does help to increase the safety. And also the numbers do prove that this program helps to improve the safety of the target group, and we hope that there are many other programs will be carried out in the future in Hungary. So thank you very much for your kind attention. And if there are any questions, then I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Angelika, for your presentation. I have for the moment only one question about your presentation, but I think you answered it. So the question was from Vladimir, who was asking just before you mentioned it, how many students have participated to this program. So I think it's how much was it, Angelika?
Over 30,000 students.
Over 30,000. So it's
Yeah.
quite a lot. It's quite amazing how much students participated. I have now a question from Rajan, who is asking more information about the pedestrian license that you were talking.
Well, the way we think about it, there has been an example that has given us this idea to have the pedestrian license. There is a city in Hungary, it's called Békés, where the director of the school has introduced a driving license for bicycles. This only meant that the students had to go through a safety education, and they had to pass an exam. And if they were not passing this exam, they were not allowed to go to school by their bikes. Whatever we would like is a bit simultaneous to this, just to make a small training for children about the city, what they have to be careful whenever they are walking on the street, and then they could get a small driving license or pedestrian license for themselves. The license itself for them to the license itself, it's like a small plastic or paper kind of thing. It can motivate the children very much. So this is the reason they would get a small license, but on the other hand, we would have the chance to train them for safer transportation. I hope I could answer the question.
Okay, yes, I think your answer is quite clear. Rajan, if you have another question if it's not clear, just ask me in the chat. I have now a question for you about the Live on the Road program. Did you see if children are more independent if they are going to more often cycling or walking alone after this program or not?
I think this is something that is very, very hard to measure because most of our programs are countrywide programs. And what we can do is test their attitudes and test their road safety knowledge with tests. Every test shows that we have reached an improvement whenever we go to a school and make a training, but it is really, really hard for us to go back and actually check in practice whether they are more safety conscious, whether their behavior is more safety conscious. Whenever we measure the effects with surveys, it comes back yes. And of course, I need to say that the accidents where there are children involved, the number of accidents when children are involved has been decreased in the past years.
Okay.
But it's always hard to connect to the programs that we hand up. It's really hard to measure.
Yes, of course, of course. But haven't you been questioning the parents after this program? I don't know, because maybe the parents change like the behavior that they have with the children by letting them go alone, walking alone, or cycling alone. You didn't ask the parents about it, or?
No, we have not asked the parents. Actually, it would be a really difficult thing to do, because it's easier to reach students in the schools than parents. It's always harder to achieve the parents, but it's a good idea. We could do that.
Okay. Well, that was it for the question. I don't know. I will ask to the audience if there is another question. You can ask it, and I will ask it later to Angelika, because now we are going further with the next presentation of Bill. But I will let Babette introduce the Bill to you. So Babette, I'll let you.
Okay, hi everyone again. I will, for my part, also thank Angelika for the presentation. Now it's Bill's turn with the Roadmate project. Roadmate has been designed as a portable, accessible product that can be used anywhere, car journeys, at home, or in the classroom. It has been designed to teach children the correct behavior to cross the road safely. And more information will be given by Bill himself. So Bill, you can now share your screen and start a presentation.
Yes. I don't have anything on my screen. Is there a...
Yeah, now you can just open your PowerPoint. We can see your screen now, but if you click on the PowerPoint logo.
What is the PowerPoint? Oh.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Great. Yeah, you can just open it. Yeah, now we can see. You can make it a full screen presentation. Yeah, great.
How does one do that? Gosh.
On the bottom you have like notes, and on the right with you, the fourth icon. Actually, just the last, next to the minus.
I think
Can you find it?
Forgive me, sorry. Yes, do I have
Why
it? I think I have it actually.
Wat is de shortcut voor zo uw... Or you can just in the from above slideshow you can press F5 or press F5. Maybe you can try that. Yeah, okay, great. And now I'll let you present. Thank you, Will. Are you ready to start? I can't actually hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Great.
Shh, what's the screen? Right, okay.
So I'll let you present. You can start now.
Scotland and the United Kingdom. I'd like to begin today by saying thank you to Babette and her colleague Felix for allowing me the opportunity to present before you today my project, my road safety project, which I've named Roadmate. Incorporation of a road safety code, which can be adopted internationally. The discovery. Discovery consists of seeing what everyone else has seen and thinking what no one else has thought. In the form of an easy-to-use electronic multimedia device, this new child pedestrian road safety resource takes a child on a road safety journey. This journey brings the road safety code to life, addressing both the theory and practice of child pedestrian road safety. And why did I think about Roadmate in the first place? Well, a number of years ago, here in my own country in Scotland, we decided to, because of the number of children being involved in road traffic accidents, the local authority decided to embark on an extensive market research programme, which took place in the schools, the primary schools or the elementary school. And they spent a week in a particular school where staff would go into the school, teach the children in a classroom setting about the theory of roadmate, or the theory of road safety crossing. And they would then take them outside and demonstrate practically the children crossing the road outside the school. At the end of that week, what they did, they then placed a hidden camera inside a vehicle outside the school. And when the children left the school, they watched to see how many would observe the code, use the code. In fact, none of them did. And what that really taught them was that for as long as there was an adult there, a responsible person there, where they could hear the instruction, they would adopt the road safety code, they would use the behaviour. Well, sadly, because of resources, cutbacks, etc., not every local authority could afford that. And what they did was just accept that that's the way it was. They gave the children the sort of a paper handouts and trusted that the children would use that. Safety, if you like, we can think of road traffic. Well, the volumes of traffic on the road nowadays, it's just amazing the amount of traffic that's there, and it seems to be sort of more and more each year, more and more congestion. If you consider the lack of safe crossings, what I mean by that is if children are given what we call zebra crossings, crosswalks and American crossings, they tend not to be built or placed outside schools or on roads to schools. So children don't always have that opportunity to walk to school from home to school safely. And certainly they're not outside schools either. I've certainly not come across any. So that's an issue, the safe crossings. Unsafe driving. Well, if you look at driving nowadays, if you're a driver, as I am, if you're on the road nowadays, you're too busy looking out for the speed bumps or speed cameras or there's all sorts of things that the driver, road designs, new road signs, all sorts of things that are happening here that the driver really is trying to concentrate on, and perhaps sometimes not looking, at other road users, particularly pedestrians. And simple road safety message. Well, what I mean by that is that I think the road safety message is given to a lot of children in this country. It's written by adults and try to seem simple, but perhaps it's more complicated than what they would believe it to be. So for me, that would be a number of those. That's a number of the problems, and I'm sure there are many other ones that people in their own countries would be able to identify. We know that all children are taught road safety codes from an early age. Safety codes from an early age, along with our safety initiatives, are provided with knowledge required to cross the road safely. And those other safety initiatives would be stranger danger, for example. But in particular, here we're looking at road safety. So why are our children killed or injured as a result of road traffic accidents? Just because we tell children not to do something doesn't mean they will apply this in practice. And as parents, you've probably experienced that with your own children. We know increasing knowledge does not improve behaviour, and we know that because Professor Zudan Zidek of the University of Dundee, Department of Psychology, and I have the link on the slide there. Suzanne spent a number of months in an extensive study with children, and that's an excellent academic research paper if anyone's interested in looking at it. So we know that as Suzanne identified, in other words, we have to take a mixed approach. One where we combine what we teach our children to tell them how to cross the road safely with the methods of actual practice improving road safety behaviour, thus putting the theory into practice in a safe environment. And that's important when we're teaching the children, and that has to be in a safe environment. Perhaps it could be a school playground where cars aren't available. You could put a mock-up road where the children would learn the code and then practice it in that safe zone. Hopefully then being confident enough to then go outside and then try it on a real road, if you like. But we'll not remember the message when it's needed. Children, by their very nature, they'll perhaps come out to play. They'll maybe see a friend on the other side of the road, or they'll chase a ball onto the road. They sometimes don't often think, oh, what do I have to do here? I need to stop and remember to cross the road safely. So that can be a concern. Not being led by peers. Well, again, children are not always out in a group where they could have the safety of that group and be led by the peers in terms of making that road crossing. So again, they're out on their own sometimes. Not practicing good road safety behaviour. Sometimes children just don't do that for reasons sometimes no known to themselves. They never think they're going to be knocked down or become injured. They just cross the road, trust that perhaps there'll not be a car there, and if there is a car there, the driver will see them and perhaps slow down and stop. Not having the reinforcement of family approval. Well, sadly, sometimes that happens, particularly in the lower income families, although not exclusively, and sometimes children just don't have that support, if you like. Sometimes the parents don't become stakeholders in their child's road safety. And that can obviously have an impact on the child in terms of how he or she believes the importance of that road safety message is and how they should adopt it. Falling into poor habits. We all do that, even as adults. There's no right or wrong there. It's something we do. But in this case, it could potentially be proved to be quite dangerous for the child. Next slide. When I'm suggesting Roadmate as a solution, but certainly what I would say in relation to that is that I recognise that Roadmate is only one element in this complex phenomenon of child fatalities and road accidents. So Roadmate can certainly be a tool in a very good toolbox, but certainly one of a number of tools are there. And really its aim is really to decrease child road safety fatalities by improving awareness of the rules for the child. So in my own country, we have a road safety code, as most countries do, all countries. And here in the UK, it's called the Green Cross Code. And essentially what that does do, it tells the children what they should do. And that's usually given to them in the form of a book or something like that, which the child can read and take away. And they're distributed in the schools, certainly in the primary schools, elementary, as they may be known in your own countries. What Roadmate does, what's been designed to do, is to get the child to actually behave in accordance with the road safety code by not only showing the child, allowing the child to see it in writing, but also in the form of an animation that the child can watch, view, observe. And then at the end of that, what Roadmate also does is there's a multiple choice questionnaire. So for example, if the child's sitting with Roadmate and he or she's looking at it, they've read the book, if you like, they've watched the animation, if their parent's watching them doing it, they can then show their parent them sitting the test and answering the questions. And that's quite good in a number of ways as well, because that hopefully allows a parent to take an interest in the child and become a stakeholder, if you like, in the safety of the child. So Roadmate certainly, as I say, it's a tool in a toolbox, but certainly one I believe to be an important tool and one that spent many years in research and development to get it to where it is today. Okay, earlier on about the safety code could be adopted internationally. For me, one of the benefits is I've been in Europe, thankfully I've been able to travel Europe, and I've looked at other countries in the world, and we all have different safety codes, different road safety codes. The same message runs through, obviously, in terms of the child being able to make that journey safely. But the belief for Roadmate is that we could combine all states' road safety codes and introduce one uniform code delivered throughout the European Union. And that's very easy, that can be done. That will then empower children not only for the knowledge to become confident, independent pedestrians in their own country, but it could be used in all member states. So if the child, for example, is going to visit maybe a family member in another country, or they're going on holiday, and then it'd be the same road safety code. That way you wouldn't have to learn a new one or find out what the code may be for that area. Roadmate, well, as a device, it has physical pages, as I'd said earlier, and that allows the child to read the safety code, if you like. What it also has incorporating into interactive buttons, and these buttons allow the child to, if you like, switch on a television, if you like, a small screen. They then can view an animation which runs for about 30 seconds, and there's an audio, a voice, and the voice at the background is instructing the wee characters to make that safe journey. So, and everything that's written in the physical pages, the child would find in the animation. So it's reinforcing what was said in the physical pages, and obviously the audio that the child would hear the message. The interactive buttons, they're used for firstly the child can, well, obviously to switch the book on, but certainly the child can then play the animation, and at the end of the animation they have a choice. I had to go back to the beginning of the animation and move on to the multiple choice questionnaire, which I spoke of earlier on. Over here in the United Kingdom, in Scotland, there are 6 steps to the road safety code, so there are 6 questions. And the idea is that the child would answer each question, multiple choice, 1 question, 3 possible answers. And if for any reason, you know, they click on the wrong answer, then that's fine. You know, they have the opportunity to then go back, read the book, view the animation, and go back to the test again. And only when they're confident that they've answered the test, they've answered the questions fully, if the parent's observing them, then perhaps it's an opportunity for the young person to say to his parent, you know, let's go outside in a safe place and let me demonstrate to you that I understand the process involved in making that safe journey. How is it used? Well, it's used individually by the child, him or herself. It can be used with friends as part of a group where the children can test each other. You know, let's read the book, let's watch the animation, and let's answer the questions. So that's good for peer group, and it's good for confidence in that group. And then the children, as I said, children can teach each other. With teachers in a classroom setting, yes, it can be used in you know, a kindergarten, you know, in elementary school, part of an education curriculum. Where I know nowadays we have these smart boards, so there's no reason why Roadmate couldn't feature on the smart board with the children having it, you know, a copy sitting in front of them. And again, they could do that as part of a school lesson, where the teacher will teach them, or teacher will run that class, and the young people would all again learn. And again, with family at home, you know, a safe, comfortable environment where the children and everyone knows each other. We sometimes play board games at home as a family. Why don't we play Roadmate, if you like? And again, that allows the parents to understand or to see, observe that their child or children has understood this safety code fully. And that should instill a confidence in the parents. And also, as I said earlier, it's about allowing the parents to become stakeholders, saying to them, you've got responsibility for the road safety of your child. We wouldn't want to harm any of our children. Who would? So let's get Roadmate, let's sit down with our children, let's spend that time ensuring that our child will understand fully what that means to make that road crossing. Benefits, I've listed just 3 here. As an educational resource, it allows a child to learn about road safety, both in group settings and individually. And I'd said that earlier about, for example, the classroom, and individually on his or her own in the house, or group settings again with family. It brings information to life. Unlike the current resources that are made available, it's just a book, perhaps a drawing of a couple of characters. What this does do, this brings the characters to life. The child can view the characters, and that just, it makes it more meaningful, makes it more relevant, if you like, and it's certainly more fun for a child to view that and enjoy it. And what it does do, I firmly believe, it instills good judgment skills in the child, leaving the parent or parents confident that a child understands what is necessary to become that independent and competent pedestrian. And that's very important, not only that the child has demonstrated his or her understanding of that, but certainly for the parent to know that the child should be safe when he or she's now out having to make that road crossing. Passive learning, it's a screen, you know, it's fun. The child, as I said, can enjoy watching the animation, and it's easy. The buttons are very easy for the child to operate and control. There's no problem with that at all. And that can be children, you know, as young as 3, 4 years of age. As I'm sure you know, if you have children of your own, children nowadays have all these electronic machines where they press buttons and things appear, and I'm not sure of it myself, but they seem to all have them now, and they seem to enjoy them, and they seem to be very, very clever with them as well. Interactive learning, and again, that's at a child's own pace, and that is a good thing, because perhaps in a school situation, you know, as it is at the moment, it's part of a lesson, a set period of time, and it has to be done within that time, because it's part of a curriculum, whereas at home, the child can sit and study it at his or her own pace and enjoy it. And for that, they can make it more engaging, and again, even more stimulating, because it allows them that time to do that, rather than having to rush within a period. The collaborative learning, again, as I said earlier, peer group reinforcement, and that comes from the classroom setting, if you like, whereby not only the teacher and running that session and instructing the children, but the children can instruct each other. They can help each other, they can support each other through that, and children will do that, and they can question each other at the interactive session, and where they're interacting with each other. Again, it's problem solving, so that's another opportunity for children to solve that problem and do it as a group, and again, to teach each other and to support each other through that. And children can be very supportive of each other, and that's a real opportunity to get that message across. And sometimes children can teach each other, you know, they'll listen to each other more than perhaps they would a teacher, an adult. It offers more occasions when a consistent road safety message can be learned, understood, discussed, and applied in a safe and comfortable environment. It's consistent, it's there. The opportunities to teach it are greater, because the child will enjoy picking up. Children like electronic games and products nowadays, as I said earlier. So this is whereas a book they may find, okay, I've read it, but that's it. It's maybe less exciting. To it, what's happening is the children are reading the book, they're watching the animation, so they're beginning to learn the code. As they begin to learn the code, they begin to understand and know what the code means, and they can do that through not only watching reading the book, watching the characters in the animation. What does it mean to cross roads safely? Well, I can see those two characters making that journey, and then know why it's important to them to understand that, and to make that journey safely. It means they're less likely to be involved in a road traffic accident. Also, we believe with the practice, they would have to practice it, then it's allowing them to start to follow that code, perhaps even without realising it. And in doing so, and instructing Roadmate, they develop good habits, and habits that we hope that they would carry on through their life. Roadmate isn't something that you would just learn and, you know, only need it for school and forget it later on, but something that they could learn themselves and perhaps even teach their own children if they have any later on in life. One road safety code in one safer world. My ambition is that the common European child pedestrian road safety code could be delivered throughout local authority education departments throughout Europe. There's no reason why the road safety programme Roadmate couldn't in fact be used worldwide. With the incorporation of that road safety code, international code, that's not a problem. And as I said earlier, it can be used throughout the whole European Union, allowing the children to make that safe crossing wherever they are in the European Union. Next step is partnership and working. We have developed the product. We're currently in a possession of a pre-production prototype, which we're happy to demonstrate to any interested parties. So what I would like to do today is if anyone is interested in finding any more out about Roadmate, and perhaps an opportunity for me to demonstrate a pre-production prototype, I would certainly be happy to do that with anyone. If there's any questions, Felix will obviously have had.
Yes, Bill.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your presentation. I don't have a question for so far, but I have one for myself. What's important? How do you develop something that is child friendly and child minded? Because it's sometimes difficult as adult to have a program that can easily be used by children. What are the most important points when you develop something like that?
But that's a good question, Felix. And what I decided to do in relation to that at the early stage, perhaps you understand yourself that when I was developing Roadmate, the last thing you do is go to family and friends, because they'll tell you it's wonderful. Don't want to offend you or upset you. So I decided to, in terms of market research, to talk to local authority, the police, local authority, road safety professionals, Scottish Road Safety Campaign, which is the largest campaign in my country and the only one funded by our government. What I also decided to do was to go to local kindergarten, elementary schools, and speak with the staff in those schools, and go in and say, here's what I'm doing, and can you show me, tell me how children what children would best understand based on their own experience of working with children. So this wasn't just me sitting down myself or sitting down with a group of adults. We think we know what children want. This was us saying, actually, let's go to the people who work with children each day and get their understanding and knowledge of what it means for a child to understand something. And based on that, we're then able to begin developing Roadmate. And that took a number of years. It was really going back to the drawing board, if you like, again, having further meetings with teachers, teaching staff, to the point where they said, yeah, this is a product based on our knowledge and experience with children. This is a product that children would understand and children would feel able to use.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill. So I have no reaction from the attendees, and I have a question from Fatima from Portugal. She's asking how does the program works within the family. If you can explain the different goals of the program.
Well, in terms of working within the family, what I envisaged was, perhaps when at home at night, that if they are together, they'll maybe play board games or something like that. What I hoped that Roadmate would do would be, and again, I can't generalise and I won't, but not all families do spend time together. Families to take this serious message of Roadmate and sit down with the child and allow the child to demonstrate to them, for them to read the book and view the animation also, but allow the child to demonstrate his or her understanding in terms of the answering the questions, and as a family unit for the parent or parents to know and believe that my child has understood that, and I'm confident now that my child will be able to make that road safety journey safely.
Okay, and yeah, Fatima is asking if you can send to the attendees a link to the demo program, if it's possible to do that, so that the attendees can see a little bit how it works. I don't know if it's possible.
Well, I mean, it's certainly possible because everything is. But what I don't have, I don't have it on a but I don't have it uploaded to the internet, Felix. But what I can do, I mean, I can certainly do that. I've got no problem with that at all. I'd have to find out how I do that. Maybe I make maybe I make a short video or something, and a couple of minute video, and demonstrate. I'll do that. That's what I told you. I'll do that. And if I get Fatima's email address, I can, or the European Road Safety Charter.
Okay. Yes, I will ask your contact because I have a lot of questions. I have Rakam from India who is interested to have more information about your work because yes, in India they have some troubles too with children, and he said to me that they don't have a real road safety code. So maybe if you can give us some information, more information about this program and your contact, then I will share it with the attendees later.
Well, no problem. What I've done, Felix, if you look at my last slide, I have my email address and my mobile phone number.
Okay, so perfect.
If people want to email me, they can certainly email me, and I can chat with them individually, and I can answer their questions. I've got no problem with that at all, Felix.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I have also a question, another question about if you could share any video about the project. So yes, if you have time for this, if there is a video, maybe it should be nice to share it within the charter.
Well, as I said earlier, Felix, what I can do, I can certainly make a video, a couple of minute video, get the prototype out. I can make a video of me demonstrating it, and I can certainly send it to yourself or Babette at the Charter. And if you then want to perhaps forward it on to those people who attended today, I can do that this afternoon for you, my friend. That's not a problem.
Okay, perfect. Well, we will do it like that, and then I will upload it on the Charter's YouTube in order to share it on the website of the Charter so that everyone can see it. Okay.
Please forgive me that I didn't include that in my presentation. I do apologize, Felix.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Okay. Well, if there is another question or another remark, you can ask it now. Now in the chat bar.
Oh yeah, I can see it, chat bar. Yeah, yep.
But I don't see any question now. So
no, there's nothing. No,
I think we are around. So thank you everyone. So thank you Bill and thank you Angelika for your presentation. So now to be further, I will put your presentation online with a little resume of the Charter webinar. And so if you have videos or other documents to share with us, please send it to me, so I will put them on the Charter's website for the end of the week, beginning next week. So that's it. So thank you everybody to have been attending this webinar. At the end of the webinar, you will have a small survey where we'll ask you about what did you find about this webinar. Please, if you can answer it, it should be really nice to have some feedback about this webinar.
No problem, my friend. I look forward to doing that for you. No problem at all.
Okay. So bye everybody. We will close now.
Okay, thank you, Babette and Felix, and best of luck to your project, Angelika. It sounds really good. I enjoyed watching your presentation.
Thank you very much. So did I yours, and I'm definitely going to Google your program. It's really interesting. And thank you very much, Babette and Felix, for the opportunity for presenting.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye. Thank you, guys. Have a good day today. Thank you.